That night started like any other. I had just finished cleaning up after dinner, while my husband Daniel sat on the couch, scrolling through his phone. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until it was. I remember the moment so clearly. It was past midnight when I heard the front door creak open. My heart jumped. Daniel had been right beside me when we went to bed. So why was the door opening now? I turned over, expecting to see him still asleep, but the space beside me was empty. Confused, I sat up, listening carefully. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate, and definitely not coming from inside the house. My stomach tightened. At first, I thought maybe he had forgotten something in the car. But when I peeked through the curtains, I saw him standing at the end of our driveway, talking to someone, a shadowy figure. Their voices were hushed, tense. My pulse raced. Who was he talking to this late at night? And why did it feel so off? I wanted to go outside to call out his name, but something held me back. A strange feeling settled in my chest, one I couldn't explain. I told myself I was overthinking. Maybe it was just a friend, or maybe I was half asleep and imagining things. But then I saw it, the way he turned back toward the house, looking over his shoulder like he was making sure no one saw him. And that's when I knew whatever was happening wasn't normal. What I discovered that night changed everything. And if I had ignored my gut feeling, I never would have known the truth. But once I did, there was no going back. I stayed frozen by the window, my mind racing with possibilities. Was it someone from work? A friend in trouble? Or was it something else? Something he didn't want me to know about? My hands felt clammy as I pressed my fingers against the curtain, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. The conversation between Daniel and the stranger was too quiet for me to hear, but his body language spoke volumes. His shoulders were tense, his head slightly lowered, and he kept glancing toward the house like he was afraid of being caught. This wasn't normal. This wasn't my husband, the man who always told me everything, who never kept secrets. So why did it feel like he was hiding something? I thought about stepping outside, calling his name, forcing him to explain, but a part of me hesitated. What if I wasn't ready for the answer? What if knowing the truth would change everything between us? My heart pounded in my chest as I backed away from the window. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe this was nothing. But deep down, I knew better. Something about that night felt different, and soon I would find out why. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Daniel standing in the driveway, whispering to that shadowy figure. His face wasn't visible, but I could feel the secrecy in his movements. My mind kept running in circles, trying to make sense of it. Was it someone from work? A friend he hadn't mentioned? Or was it something worse? Something he didn't want me to find out? The next morning I acted normal. I wanted to see if he would bring it up on his own. But Daniel was the same as always, smiling, sipping his coffee, scrolling through his phone like nothing had happened. That's what scared me the most. If it had been something innocent, why wouldn't he just say so? I decided to test him. Casually, I asked if he had trouble sleeping. He barely looked up. No. Why? His answer was so smooth, so effortless, like the night before had never happened. My stomach twisted. He was lying. I could have let it go, pretended I hadn't seen anything. But now I needed to know the truth. And deep down, I had a terrible feeling that whatever Daniel was hiding, I wasn't going to like it. The rest of the day felt like a blur. Every time Daniel spoke, every time he smiled, I wondered how much of it was real. I kept replaying that moment outside, the way he had glanced over his shoulder like he was afraid of being seen. Who was he meeting? And why was he pretending like nothing had happened? That night I couldn't take it anymore. I waited until he was asleep, his breathing deep and steady before I slipped out of bed. My heart pounded as I crept downstairs, careful not to make a sound. I had no plan, just a desperate need to find something, anything that could explain what I had seen. Then I spotted it. His phone, left carelessly on the kitchen counter, unlocked. My hands trembled as I reached for it. Whatever secret he was hiding, I was about to find out, and I had no idea if I was ready for the truth. My fingers hovered over the screen, my breath shallow. I wasn't the type to invade someone's privacy, but this was different. I needed answers. As I scrolled through his messages, nothing seemed unusual at first. Work chats, family group texts, the usual. But then I saw it. A conversation with an unsaved number. The last message sent just hours ago made my stomach drop. She doesn't know. I'll take care of it. My hands shook as I clicked the thread. The earlier messages were deleted, but that single sentence was enough to send my mind spiraling. Who was he talking to? What didn't I know? And what exactly was he planning to take care of? A sudden creak from upstairs made me jump. I turned, heart racing, and froze. Daniel was standing at the top of the stairs watching me. His face was unreadable, and in that moment I knew. He knew what I had just seen. My breath caught in my throat. Daniel stood there silent, his expression unreadable. My mind raced, trying to figure out what to say, how to explain why I was standing in the dark, clutching his phone. But before I could speak, he took a slow step down. "You shouldn't have done that," he said softly. A chill ran down my spine. "Done what?" I forced my voice to stay steady, even though my hands were trembling. He sighed, rubbing a hand over his face. "I was trying to protect you." "Protect me?" My pulse pounded. From what? Or from who? Before I could ask, he reached for his phone and swiped through his messages. Then he held it up for me to see. A name I never expected appeared on the screen. My sister. "I wasn't keeping a secret from you," he said. "She was." My heart stopped. Everything I thought I knew flipped upside down. What had she done? And why had Daniel been covering for her? Before I could process it, my phone buzzed in my hand. A message from my sister. "Please don't believe anything he says." And just like that, I realized this wasn't over. I stared at the message, my heart pounding. My sister and Daniel, two people I trusted the most, were hiding something from me. But which one was telling the truth? Daniel exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. "She's in trouble," he said. "She didn't want to drag you into it, but I couldn't just stand by and do nothing." His voice was steady, but doubt clawed at me. If he wasn't lying, then why had he kept it from me? And why was my sister so desperate for me not to believe him? I wanted to demand answers, to piece together the truth right then and there. But instead, I did something neither of them had done. I took a step back. I needed time. Time to think, to understand what was really going on before choosing who to believe. That night changed everything, but not in the way I had expected. Trust wasn't just about words, it was about actions. And until I knew the full truth, I couldn't trust either of them completely. As I turned away, Daniel didn't stop me. And as I walked upstairs, my sister's words echoed in my mind. This wasn't the end, it was just the beginning.